Welcome to the Elevate and Explore podcast.
Well, so today up here in Pennsylvania, we have one of these false spring days. Yesterday was, I think, 71. Today it's about 78. Absolutely gorgeous. Tomorrow it's going to be 72. And Thursday it's going to be 53. Friday, 48. So that good old Pennsylvania false spring and mid-March, but it's been absolutely gorgeous. Been out in shorts and a t-shirt, hiking, walking, enjoying all the birds chirping. And now that we got the time changed, it's a little different because I go for a walk every morning. And the past couple now since Sunday, walking in the dark every morning pretty much. But
Yeah.
still going out. It's nice. I really enjoyed the 5-degree weather we had, and foot of snow, snowshoeing, and endless cold, what felt like forever. I mean, this is the coldest year I can remember in a very, very long time. And, I love every season. There's something nice to appreciate about every single season, but it's nice when you start to get that warm weather. So I'm super thrilled. It's March 10th. We're coming into spring now and see that sun at the end of the horizon coming up, warming up the world again.
Well, we definitely have the fall spring. It always amazes me at how similar but so different our weather is. Like, this today I think it was 75. It must have been close to 80 degrees today. And they're calling for 30 degrees next week. So here I am, like I'm planting garden and putting stuff outside and doing all kinds of yard work. And hell, I said today is the last day of my trapping because it's getting to a point now where the bugs are just the ticks, the flies, the fleas, the everything is just unbearable, and I don't want to deal with it. And it's kind of bittersweet because the past few mornings checking the line, um, the buds are starting to come out. There's flowers. It smells nice. You open your mouth just too many times and get a protein-filled breakfast with the amount of bugs that are coming out. It it's an exciting time of year, and this year especially, just the amount of time that I've spent outside. Um, Hell, we're going on 6 months now. I've just been. If you see the calendar, Katie has Ryan still hunting, Ryan almost done hunting, and that takes up about half the calendar. So, uh, it's been good. Highly encourage it for anybody to get outside.
Yeah, I was walking this past weekend or maybe last week, and I was just thinking like I just thoroughly love the outdoors. Like I was thinking about, like I said, a couple minutes ago, whether it's out 5 degrees, hiking through a foot of snow in your snowshoes with the freaking snow coming down sideways, just freezing your butt off, or out in the middle of the ocean when it's 100 some degrees and there's no freaking wind moving and you're just sweating your freaking butt off. Like, no matter what the weather is, what the season is, I just am happy and at peace when I'm outside. The other morning it was pouring down rain. By the time I was done with my 20-minute walk, my pants were absolutely drenched. I sat in wet boxers most of the day, but I was outside. It still felt great. There's something just so special about whatever the weather it is. I just respect it all. I appreciate it all. And, there's not really anything else I can think of in my life that brings me that same joy and that same peace, and I'm willing to go put up with whatever it might be just to go out and enjoy it.
Hmm.
Um, that just shows me how important the outdoors are to me and how much it means in my life because, like I said, it doesn't matter what the weather is. I'll go out and enjoy it, whatever the heck it is, because there's always something to appreciate about it.
Oh, it's the simple calm days. I think just a casual Sunday out screwing around in the garden or screwing around outside, and when that sun's just right and there's a nice breeze and it's a calm, relaxing day and it's nice and quiet, there's nothing better than that. Equally as much, I can count on two hands the amount of times it's been raining, snowing sideways, windy as all get out, bitter cold, you're trudging through snow, you're typically chasing mule deer or elk or whatever, and it seems so far away that you're just nothing's gonna happen, but you still somehow enjoy the weather. And it's that reminder of, those cold, cold, cold days. Now, it makes you really appreciate those hot summer days, and those hot summer days makes you really appreciate those cold, bitter days. I said today, just it's too hot. It's too hot for anything. Well, it's the right temperature right now, and that's what it is, and we got to deal with that. But it's going to be very quickly awaited that the temperature drops and snow comes, and it's still 9 months away, but we'll fill our time other ways.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, in case you guys haven't heard yet, we've got this really cool, freaking awesome intro video. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we definitely need to play that again.
Welcome to the Elevate and Explore podcast.
In case you missed it the first time.
How about that intro video?
Yeah, right now I just have memories of you and I, first time we went out to Colorado for mule deer, and it was like 10 degrees the whole time. It was absolutely frigid. We're in that little tiny 10 by 10 wall tent with a wood stove that we were having challenges with and smoking us out. But man, what a
I
freaking
just
blast.
I just pulled that wall tent out, and it still has that nice, dark, musky, acrid, smoky smell of.
It'll never go away.
No, it'll never go away. It's burned into the canvas now. It's just too many smoky campfires and creosote burning, and it's just part of the experience. And I just pulled that tent out, and I was trying to get it to dry the other day, and then we were blessed with a little bit of rain, and I put it away for just the time being. Next time I pull it out, we're gonna have a couple good days of sun, no humidity. We're gonna let it air dry, and then I'm gonna seal it so it's nice and sealed. But it's funny how far we've come with that wall tent, because I think that trip with you was one of the last ones that we struggled in it. Now, bear in mind, the story of this wall tent is it has been to Alaska, British Columbia, I think Montana. I got it from an older gentleman um from Western Kansas. I met him online, and I said somewhere, it's like, anybody have a wall tent for sale? And he's like, I got one, I'll give it to you. You just got to drive out here and get it. And I was like, no way, like, you don't have to do that. And he gave it to me, and he's like, it needs some work, but he's like, it's been a good tent. Like, this thing has been around. And I was like, well, you're not going to find anybody to care for it better than I can. And I took it home that day, and we washed it, we patched it, I sewed a bunch of canvas on it, um, glued all kinds of stuff on it. I think I don't remember if it was a trip you and I went on or if I was on a
I
different
think we
trip.
made some patches and stuff on it while we were out there. And
Possibly. Whenever the zipper broke, that was kind of like the
oh,
next
yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that was with you. Was it you and Nick when the zipper broke?
No, I believe it was you and I.
Okay. And then I put the
And then we
zipper
had
in
to
it.
sew on some straps or something, or
Okay. Yeah. So when we finally got around to fixing the zipper, I tried getting people all over the country, from like Texas, Kansas, Pennsylvania, to sew a zipper in it, and nope, everybody told me it was impossible because of how big it was. And I remember grabbing a six-pack of Coors Light and a sewing machine from Walmart, and I went back into the camper, and I strung the wall tent across the entire camper. Now it's a 10 by 12 tent, and the area in my camper was only like 6 by 4. I've got all the fabric out trying to get the door in. I sewed the zipper, and there's just been so many memories in that thing. And I tell you, I look forward to setting that up, and sometimes struggling with a little campfire. But we've got a set up now with some. I think we've got what, one cot, couple bunk beds, or you have a set of bunk beds. I have a set of bunk beds,
disco beds. Yeah.
and I have a another cot, and then the wood stove, and we have a full bathhouse now. Got
Ooh.
a hunting blind, a portable shower, and one of those. It's like a nursing home commode.
Okay.
Yeah, you take that and a little buddy heater out, and man, you're off to the races.
Exciting.
I know. I just look forward to it so much.
Me too.
It's almost spoiled the amount of stuff that we have for it, but
Now, see, like there, that wall tent, like it's a shame that not many people make things that hold. Like, do you know what the age of it is?
I mean, I would be willing to bet that was made in the 80s because it
Yeah,
was probably one of the first ones that Cabela's made because it's a Cabela's. We'd have to go back and see if it was a Cabela's Outfitter brand or what. Um, but it was one of the original Cabela's tents.
yeah.
Let's
So
do
you know,
a
40,
Google search.
40 some years old. You know, been all over the this country and Canada. You know how many trips it's been on. It's you're able to fix it, work on it. Things back then were meant to be used and fixed and used again. And that that's something I really want to do with Eramos is some of our products be able to last for freaking ever. I feel like everything today is just made to be disposable, only last a year, 2 years, if
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Um,
it's easy to replace things. It's takes skill, patience, and time to patch things and work on
yeah,
things. And it I think there's very few people that have been, you know, of that mindset of take the time and repair something rather than just go replace it. Replacing it's so easy nowadays, and most things you just go to Amazon or online, and 2 or 3 days from now you'll have a brand new one.
yeah. Heck, I just found out the other day I was able to order something in the morning and it was freaking here in the afternoon. Like that's getting wild. Consumerism, I love it. Oh yes. Well, so in a few weeks I'm leaving my full-time job here. March 31st is going to be my last day. And I've had a couple opportunities, on my content. I keep talking about what I'm doing. I have a few people reach out. Hey, got this opportunity. You can help us do that or this. And been tempted by some of them, but I've realized that, Ryan and I started Eramos back in 2023. And, I've always had stuff going on. He's always had stuff going on and really want to go all in on it. So I'm going to take this time after I leave my family business, going to go down to Ryan for, I don't know, about 3 weeks till I have to come back for a wedding. And we're going to develop some new products and get stuff out to you guys, stuff that you need, stuff that you want, high quality stuff that's going to last you a long time to come, stuff that's made here in the States. I know we can do it.
Oh, we're doing it already. And for context, I looked into
Yes.
this wall tent a little bit just to validate. So some of these are made early 2000s. They had a partnership with Montana Canvas. So with that is one of the
Oh, geez.
that's one of their first tent. Is it was a partnership with Cabela. So Montana Canvas made it, and it shows that they've got quite a few different models, but it's every bit of 35 years old. So
Nice.
legitimately older than I am.
Hey, and it's still around. And it's still going to go on a lot more hunts.
That's right.
Speaking of hunts, you're talking about a Colorado hunt in come for fall of 2026. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I have a very long list of things I would like to do and to try and make sense of everything. Colorado's changing their point structure around a little bit, and while I can't speak exactly on what that entails, I've read into the book, I've tried to understand it best, and it sounds like some of these changes are for good, some of them are questionable, but I really enjoy hunting Colorado. It is it's always a fun hunt. It's beautiful
Hmm.
country. It's tons of opportunity. Within I mean, depends on where you go, but there's a lot of places you can have some really, really great hunting. You're 2 hours away from town, and that means you're an hour back in the bush, and you're probably an hour away from town. So you can always go to town, get stuff you need. God forbid there was an emergency. Um, it's just been something that I've really enjoyed hunting there. So I've got a good bit of points now. Um, Jack is starting to accrue points, and
Nice.
depending on what they do with their point structure, is if we can still accumulate them and um, put them towards um, a good hunt. He's going to be 18 in a couple of years. I'd love to be able to say we both, go out and do good things there. So with this hunt in particular, I kind of want to go somewhere new. I want to try some different country. Um, I've been out there at least 5 or 6 times now, and each time I go, I'm in a very similar area. I I got the roads down pat. I know where to go. You just drive in, you know where to park. Like
Hmm.
it's become quite patterned now. And the one thing that's changed over the especially the last, what, say 6 years. I mean, it's been 6 years since you and I went the last time.
I know, it's crazy.
So the handful of other times I've gone, it's it's always a new faces. You don't get to meet a lot of the same people, and with that on my mind, it's like you don't get to have other hunting buddies that you go meet in camp, and it just makes me want to try somewhere new. And we have a pretty good skill set now. We have more than enough gear to make it work. I mean, right now, I mean, it last 2 years ago when I went um, to go on that hunt, I was so excited. I had, the bino harness, my binos, my rangefinder. I had my Kestrel. I had a long range precision rifle. Got a nice pack, all my stuff, and I took Katie and the kids to the airport, and all my stuff got stolen.
Yep.
And I didn't have time to sit there and complain like, oh, all my stuff's gone. How am I going to hunt? Like, what am I going to do? Go to Cabela's and spend 5 grand on a bunch of new optics and stuff to replace what I'd lost? No, I was like, I went there to hunt. So let's just keep going. And thankfully, some guy I met, and he gave me a pair of binoculars to use. And turns out we didn't even need them. I think I used the rangefinder just to validate the shot, but I ended up shooting a
Okay.
buck at about 300 yards, and it was just kind of a down to the wire type thing. That was one of the only bucks that we had seen, and I was with my mom, and it was just so memorable. And this year, I asked Katie, I was like, "Do I want to go out and have fun this year, or do I want to go out and kill a big buck?" And she says, "Why not both?" And I was like, "You're so smart. This is why I love your
Yeah.
opinion."
Right.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to make this one. I'm having a kid come September, for those of you who don't know that yet. And gonna be life-changing experience. As much as I want to head out west, the that season is what, end of October, beginning of November.
It'll be
It's
beginning of
cutting,
November.
yeah, cutting a little close. We'll see. We'll see how time goes, what happens. But
I'm kind of
probably
against it.
this, yeah, I know. This year, it's probably in my best interest and family's interest and January's interest, baby's interest for me to stay. As hard as it is to pass up an awesome Colorado trip, like you just said, it's been 6 years, or was it 2021?
No, it was
I think it was
2020.
2020. Yeah. So it's been a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
But priorities, life changes. Talk about going with the flow. I had this plan to, I was gonna leave the family business regardless. And I bought the van, been living in it. My plan was to, travel the country for a year, but, plans change. Met an amazing woman. She happened to get pregnant, wasn't planned, but we're both thrilled for it. And, not going to be going on a year-long trip, but she still,
Mm-hmm.
I still have her, she still gives me her blessing to go travel and, still go after what I want to go after, which is absolutely amazing. It's so important, being with the right person. So she trusts me, believes in me. Yeah, so things change. You gotta go with the flow sometimes, and not everything is always going to go as planned. You got to be willing to make different moves.
Go with the flow, but always be ready to swim upstream.
Exactly.
That's what the salmon do, and the salmon, I feel like they got it down. We are going to do that this
Well,
summer,
speaking
though.
of salmon, I was just going to say, speaking of salmon, we're talking about going exploring the great outdoors of Alaska.
Well,
Do some salmon fishing, some sightseeing.
I'm pretty much just going to catch salmon because that's like what I prefer to do. I mean, you got all the sights to see while you're sitting there in the river, so you might as well just do
Well, I
both
was
and
just,
bring home fish.
I'll have plenty of sights to see on my over 2,000-mile trip from Oregon up to there. So I'll see tons of sights on the way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful stretch of country to drive through.
Have you ever driven through Canada up to Alaska? Or you always flew? Okay. Yeah, I've
No.
heard it's absolutely gorgeous.
hmm I've seen and heard, and uh, Ryan, who's up there, a good friend of mine there, and he and I talked about it, and he just thought that was like the highlight of his moving from Michigan to Alaska.
Oh, the drive up.
hmm
Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited. I was doing the calculation. It's probably going to be around $900 in fuel just to get up there.
Oh, that's not bad. That's how much it costs to fill my truck now.
I know. These last week I got fuel. Beginning of the week it was 419, then it went up to 422, then 479. Now today it's 499. Or no, sorry, now it's 519.
I just paid $5.19 today.
It's insane.
Indeed. How about that intro video?
How about it? We'll have to play it again for you guys. See how cool it is. Can't get enough of it.
So good. Well,
Yes.
I think that really sums up our stories for this evening.
Yeah, perfect. Short, sweet.
One thing we can talk about quick
Yes.
is the accountability call. So
Yes.
it has been quite a few weeks now. How many
About
weeks?
2 or 3 weeks.
I think it's 3 weeks. We have been doing our weekly account or daily accountability call. And I've taken a lot of value from that. It's nice being able to check in and keep yourself on the rails. If you say you're going to do something, it helps to follow through with that. And that helps
Yep.
with having a partner, somebody to keep you in check and somebody to help keep you in line. I
Well, and
think that
have you
goes a long
noticed
way.
that it seems like the days that I don't follow through or the day that you don't follow through, the other, we both happen to not follow through. And the days that we both do what we said we were going to do, we both typically do it. If one of us does it, the other one does it.
hmm
It's crazy how that works without even, knowing it.
Yeah.
I think it's just that energy that goes out into the universe. Say you hadn't done yours yet, but I do mine, then you just are reminded and do it.
Well, the biggest thing is just, you know, calling somebody and having to let them down. Nobody wants to bring the bad news, and
Yeah.
it's something so small, and it's argued that it doesn't really affect your day very much, but it does keep you on track and helps hold you to your word, and I think that's important. So thanks for
Yeah,
always
it's
being there.
absolutely. Yeah, that one little daily win is just, compounding interest. It builds and builds and builds when you just stay true to your word every day and, do what you said you're going to do to your, first off to yourself, but, second off to somebody else.
hmm Could
It's
not
been
agree
very
more.
valuable. Glad we started that. Yeah, I recommend, to anybody, whether it be with your girlfriend or your best friend, boyfriend, whatever, or even with us, if you want to join ours. heck, we do it every day at now we're doing 11:15 Eastern. If you're interested, reach out. We'll get you in it. We just do a quick 5-10 minute call. We try to, some days we get off topic and go a little longer, but for the most part, we try to stick just to what, were you powerful in your words? Say yes, no. I'm not going into too much detail as to why. Just the honest truth, and what our goal is for today. And even though it's only a quick conversation, it's pretty powerful. It's
It
meaningful.
does help.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Great
Of
point.
course. All right. Well, I'm going to play that intro video one more time.
Welcome to the Elevate and Explore podcast.
And then we're going to see you on the next one.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in.